Hi YouTube, is Peter from Peter.in, and in this new video I'm going to review guys the Honda City after driving it for 70,000 km. So in this new video I'm going to tell you guys about what I really like and what I don't really like, that is the pros and cons and the different experience that I faced while driving this car for such a long time at 70,000 km. So guys, without wasting any more time, let's begin. So guys, right now we are inside the Honda City, and guys, right now as you can see we have surpassed 70,000 km. We are about to surpass 70,000 km, and it is time for me to give the car for the service. And guys, let's begin with the service as starting. And guys, the service costs are minimal, but at certain milestones like 50,000 kilometer, 10,000 and sort of some milestones, they actually charge more as the car is actually passing a certain milestone, and there's actually a lot of things that to be changed in this car, so they actually cost you guys a bit more at certain milestones. And the normal service, the cash and everything is actually minimal. So guys, let's start with something that I don't really like about this car after driving it for 70,000 km. And I do crash my car the last week, and hope you guys can see a small dent, and that's why drive your car carefully. So guys, being driving this car for 70,000 km, one of the main issue that I faced is the ground clearance itself. This car is too low to the ground, and even speed breakers can damage the bumper, and I do have a lot of scratches in my bumper as I'm driving this car through place where there is a lot of rocks, speed breakers, and things are not that great in my area. So this car has been completely damaged in terms of the ground clearance, and I do have a lot of scratches in the bumper as well. So one thing is the ground clearance itself. So guys, one of the main issue that I was facing with this car when I bought this car was the tire life was not that great. And right now I have switched to a new brand, and the tire is now perfectly fine, and I'm getting around 25,000 kilometers. And guys, this car is heavily driven. I have a lot of trip. I have done a lot of long trips as well as this car is been driven a couple of 100 kilometers every day. So this car is heavily driven, and also I do have a couple of issues with this car. That is, last day I happened to be somewhere nowhere, and the car was not starting at all. I was actually keep on pressing the push button start, and nothing has I am not getting any sort of a feedback. All those things are just blinking up. So I do have an issue last week as this car was not starting, and when the battery is actually dead, the lights at the sunroof and kind of thing won't work. But in case of my car, everything was working perfectly fine, though the engine was not starting. Then I happen to have it out that is the fuse gone, and I happened to call the RSA service, but they was actually not able to help me on time. So actually I had to call an local service mechanic, and he happened to change the battery, and everything was fine. So guys, if you have the same issue, don't actually misunderstand that the engine is gone. Even though the battery is low, all these things can work very well. So that is one of the experience that I had when driving this car for 70,000 km, and I had never had an issue till last week of this car getting me down in nowhere. And this was the first time that the battery was low, and I do have an starting issue. When the battery was low, the car takes a little bit more time to start. When I press the push button start, it takes a couple of seconds to start, and I don't know why it is so. I think that as the car is getting older, everything is actually working a little slow, but it was in terms of the battery that the car was starting a bit slow. So guys, I do have an issue with the brake pad as well, and every day, as I said before, we are driving a couple of 100 kilometers, so we need to actually cross we need to climb down a hill. So I am so hard on the brakes, and the brake parts get damaged every month, guys. So I am actually so hard pressing on the brake. I'm a hard braker, so that brake parts always get damaged. And even though I am driving with the damaged brake parts, and even I need to change the drum. So guys, don't do that. Whenever the brake parts are damaged, actually replace them with your dealer. So those are some of the stuff that I don't like about this car after driving it for 70,000 km. Other than all those stuff, this car is actually performing like a charm right now. And I do have a 6-speed manual transmission, and this car is amazing in terms of all the performance, all of the features it has. So the speedometer is brilliant, and one of the main reason I even got this car is the sunroof itself, and it was actually first in the segment at that time. Now we do have the Hyundai Verna with the sunroof. So when comparing this car with Hyundai Verna, I really like this car more in terms of the spacious, how it is in the back seat, how it is to drive this car. And one thing to notice that the steering is extremely light, guys. It is actually so confident. I'm actually very confident while taking some deep corners. So at high speeds, I don't think that this car is gonna roll out of the road. Even while taking some deep curves. So overall, guys, this car is an amazing car. Even after 70,000 kilometers, he's actually running like a champ. So that's it, guys. So because on this video, subscribe for more like this. Make sure to like this video. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.